Love after 60, ask him 5 questions before sleeping together. Hi, welcome back to my channel. It's David again. In today's video, I want to talk about the questions a woman after 60 should ask before stepping into physical intimacy with a man. At this stage of life, love no longer needs to be proven or rushed. It is no longer about fleeting passion, but about emotional presence, honesty, and a pace that allows both people to remain whole. Much of the pain in later life relationships doesn't come from loving the wrong person, but from moving too close before truly understanding the other person's emotion. When the body moves ahead of clarity, the heart is often the one that pays the price. In this video, I will share 5 key questions. Each one acts as a psychological doorway, helping you see the man in front of you more clearly, while also reflecting you back to yourself. Before we begin, if you'd like to hear more reflections and life lessons about love, relationships, and inner peace after 60, please like this video and subscribe to the channel so we can continue walking this path together. And now let's begin with the first question, the one that speaks directly to the true meaning of intimacy. The first question: what does this mean to you? After 60, I've learned something very simple and also very painful. Not every closeness is intimacy. There are touches that are physically near, yet emotionally empty. And it is in those moments that the question, what does this mean to you, becomes the line between genuine connection and temporary loneliness, disguised as desire. This is the most essential question because it forces a man to pause and face himself. He cannot answer it out of habit, nor can he escape it with vague romance. Silence, hesitation, or overly brief answers all speak volumes. Some men are searching for a meaningful connection. Others are only looking for comfort, a place to hide from an emptiness they have never truly confronted. I have seen many women hurt not because they loved the wrong man, but because they assigned meaning to an intimacy the man himself had never named. When intention is left unspoken, actions are easily misunderstood, and in that misunderstanding the heart is often the one that pays the quiet price. It is an act of self-respect, a calm, grounded way of saying, before I allow closeness, I need to know what it represents. And once the meaning of intimacy becomes clear, the next question naturally follows: whether the man is truly emotionally ready to step into it. The second question: are you truly emotionally ready for this? This question exists to clarify a very common misunderstanding. Being single does not mean being ready. A man may not have a wife or a partner, but that alone says nothing about his emotional state in this moment. The issue when you ask this question, you are not asking for a commitment, and you are not looking for promises about the future. You are simply checking whether the man in front of you is fully present. A man who is emotionally ready will not avoid the question, joke it away, or answer casually. He understands what the question is really about, and he will meet it directly. On the other hand, hesitation, vague answers, or changing the subject often reveal that his heart is not here. He may still be influenced by a past relationship, an unresolved memory, or an emotional wound. And when emotions are still tied to the past, intimacy and the present easily becomes confused. This question helps you pause at the right moment. Before physical closeness creates expectations the other person is not prepared to carry. Because if a man's heart is not in the present, he cannot truly meet you there. And once emotional readiness becomes clear, the next question naturally opens another layer. How he actually relates to intimacy itself. The third question: how do you relate to this intimacy? This question is not about technique or desire. It is about how a man steps into closeness, with defenses or with willingness. Not everyone is afraid of love. Many people are afraid of being truly seen, afraid of revealing the vulnerable parts they have learned to hide for many years. In the moment you ask this question, you are listening more than you are hearing an answer. You observe how he speaks about intimacy. Does he avoid it, turn it into a joke, or appear emotionally distant and detached? These reactions often say more than words. Because the way a man relates to closeness always reflects the way he relates to himself. From a Jungian perspective, the level of intimacy a person can create with another is always proportional to the level of inner reconciliation they have achieved. Someone who has not made peace with fear or old wounds usually allows closeness only on the surface. They may be physically close. This question helps you recognize something important. If a man cannot be emotionally present when he is close to you, that intimacy will eventually turn into loneliness. Not because you are lacking affection, but because he is not ready to show you that part of himself. If you have ever been with someone like this, appearing close yet always feeling distant, then share your experience in the comments. How did you face it? And how did you handle it? And once you understand how a man relates to closeness, the next question naturally arises, the beyond attraction. The fourth question, beyond attraction. What are you truly looking for? This question is asked to move beyond the initial layer of emotion, where attraction often speaks loudly, while truth speaks very softly. Later in life, attraction still matters, but it is no longer enough to serve as the foundation of a relationship. A relationship stands only when it is built on something deeper than momentary chemistry. When you ask this question, you clearly separate two types of people. Someone who is seeking meaningful connection will speak about companionship, emotional safety, and having someone to share everyday life with. Someone who is only seeking distraction will often return to intense feelings, immediate pleasure, or avoid the question with vague responses. This question does not take romance away. On the contrary, it reveals the kind of love a man is actually capable of offering. Because mature love does not seek constant stimulation. It seeks peace. It seeks a rhythm of life that can be shared. Mornings that don't require effort, and evenings where no one has to pretend to be strong. I have seen many women confuse the feeling of being desired with the feeling of being chosen. Attraction makes us feel alive again, but only long-term presence. And that difference is what ultimately determines where a relationship will go. This question helps you pause before giving too much to something that has no foundation yet. It reminds you that what you are truly looking for is not a rush of emotion, but someone who is willing to stay. And once you understand what a man is seeking beyond attraction, the final question no longer speaks about feelings or desire, but about pace, whether the two of you can slow down, so that neither has to lose themselves. The final question, can we slow this down? This question sounds very simple, but after 60 it carries a great deal of meaning. Slowing down is not hesitation, and it is not rejection. Slowing down is a clear way of saying, I respect myself, and I respect you as well. When you ask this question, a man's response will give you the most honest answer. A man who truly cares will not feel offended, nor will he try to persuade you to move faster. He will listen and adjust his pace to meet you at the same point. Because a man who wants to stay is not afraid of moving slowly, he is only afraid of going in the wrong direction. By contrast, pressure rarely comes from passion. It usually comes from insecurity. When a man cannot wait, it is often because he is seeking sensation rather than building connection. And in relationships like that, closeness tends to arrive very quickly, while safety never quite catches up. Slowing down is the highest expression of self-control. It shows that you are not driven by the fear of loss, nor controlled by momentary attraction. You are grounded enough to listen to your own rhythm, and clear enough not to trade peace for urgency. At this stage of life, love is no longer a race. It is a long walk, where two people choose to move together, step by step, without pulling or pushing. And if a man cannot slow down with you, perhaps he is not ready to go far. The issue when you dare to slow down, not to wait for someone else, but to listen to yourself, you begin to realize, love after 60 is no longer about arriving quickly or traveling far. It is about staying in the right place, at the right pace, and in alignment with who you truly are. The 5 questions you just heard were never meant to test or challenge a man. They exist to protect something far more precious. Your inner peace. They slow love down just enough so it no longer becomes a reflex, but a choice, no longer an instinct, but an act of awareness. Issue after 60, love no longer needs intensity to prove itself. It needs grounding. It is no longer about possession, but presence. No longer about waiting to be chosen, but about being clear enough to choose for yourself. A wise woman is not afraid of answers, because what she values most is not hope, but truth, and truth, even when it is quiet, always leads us back to where we truly belong. If these reflections made you pause, if they felt like a conversation you needed at this stage of life, you can like the video, share it, and subscribe to the channel. These reflections are here so we don't have to walk this season of life alone. And I'm David. Thanks for watching my video till now and see you next time.